This week, the House approved the SAFE Act, a bill that is supposed to strengthen the screening process for Syrian and Iraqi refugees. With 47 Democrats defying a presidential veto threat, the legislation essentially broadens President Obama's powers by giving him unilateral authority to determine the number, the location, and the benefits the U.S. will offer predominantly Syrian Muslim refugees. Critic of the bill, GOP Senator Jeff Sessions, says the SAFE Act comes with a $55 billion price tag to take care of these refugees. However, newly minted Speaker of the House Paul Ryan defended the SAFE Act.
The first duty of our government is to keep the American people safe. That's why today the House will vote on a plan to pause our Syrian refugee program. If our law enforcement and intelligence community cannot verify that each and every person coming here is not a security threat, then they shouldn't be allowed in.
But can the U.S. fully vet those coming from the Middle East? FBI Director James Comey told the House Homeland Security Committee no.
The challenge we're all talking about is that we can only query against that which we have collected. And so if someone has never made a ripple in the pond in Syria in a way that would get their identity or their interests reflected in our database, we can query our database till the cows come home, but we're not going to, there'll be nothing show up.
On the other side of the political aisle, Democrat Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi argues that Americans shouldn't turn away Syrian women, children, and senior refugees, although it's well documented that women have carried out suicide bombings.
This bill does not make us safer. The Republican bill before us does not make us safer. It does not reflect our values, and it does not have my support.
Pelosi may inadvertently have a point in that our borders are still not secure, as evidenced a few days ago when the Border Patrol apprehended 5 illegal Pakistani and 1 illegal Afghani 16 miles north of the U.S. border in Arizona.
President Barack Obama talking about how they're already vetted, and our Kimberly Dvorak is here to talk about the pros and cons on the SAFE Act. What we wanted to get with the president, it wasn't cut right there. He had mentioned that it already takes 18 to 24 months for someone to be approved. It's already a long process, according to those who oppose the SAFE Act. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, and it's a difficult process in any event because, most countries in the Middle East don't have databases like we do here in this country. So, first and foremost, it's a tough process anyways. We don't know who these people are. But as with, any tragedy like we saw with the Paris attacks last week, we see Congress feel like they've got to jump into action and put together some sort of legislation to make it all better. And that, in essence, is what they did here with the SAFE Act. And what they did with the SAFE Act is what most people aren't saying. There's a few people talking about it, but like Senator Jeff Sessions, a senator, the president has unilateral authority to actually, he could allow 1 million people in if he wanted to.
Because this bill only mentions 3 top U.S. officials, and that's not the president at all.
Exactly, but the horrible part about this bill, I guess, if you can say, it's just completely poorly written, is that now we have to, if this passes, which I don't think it will, it made it out of the House, but I think it's dead in the Senate, the director of the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, and our national intelligence all have to personally sign off on each and every each and every refugee that comes into this country. They've got day jobs. They can't do this. It's simply impossible. So again, it's Congress jumping into action.
Is it fear-mongering?
Fear-mongering. For that, perhaps, or maybe one of these people come in and they happen to be a terrorist, then they can say, oh, it was his fault. So this is nothing more than political pandering.
Let's just say that it does pass. How much would it cost taxpayers?
Oh gosh, the cost on this for about 10,000 refugees will be somewhere in the neighborhood of $55 billion. That's an awful lot of money to take care of 10,000 people. You're bringing them home. You're bringing to a place that doesn't have shared cultures, values, and whatnot, and it's very difficult for them to be here in this country. And again, Congress just needs to wake up and actually think things through before they go through this process.
Kimberly Dvorak, thank you for being with us this morning. For more on Kimberly